Okay, so tonight it is like a reunion for some people here who have gathered in a circle, as well as the circle, because we are bound by our hearts and by our minds together. So we are really operating in the fifth dimension where time and space no longer are barriers. So, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge everybody who is new here. We have Natty from Brazil who's here with us physically. This is the first time. Welcome, Natty. And I'd like to know, is there anybody that's new for the first time on our Zoom platform? And if you are, would you just simply go ahead and just in the chat, just say hi, so I know that this is your first time. I wish I was there with you. Okay, Lucienne, I know. Nanika, hi, Nanika. I so wish I was there in person. I'll attempt next time. Okay, Nanika, that's fine. So we're going to be here at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light every Monday without fail. That's where we're going to be. Hi, first time in Zoom. Okay, Anita, you were one of the originals of the Anchoring Lights. It's so nice to see you on Zoom, Anita. That's awesome. You just had a birthday. Happy birthday to you. So I'm just glad seeing the family of light all getting together. And I am now going to make sure that the music is going to be okay. We should be connected. Let me just double check everything because it took a moment to get on. Okay, I see the Wi-Fi is good on my phone, and I'm just going to check and make sure that the hotspot, I got the Bluetooth on. Okay, yes, okay. So things look good so far. Calling the angels, so we will not be interrupted in this. Okay, so I'm just going to have a really brief chat, even though we're not even going to go on the Facebook platform. We'll do that next week. I'm going to see about getting a booster just to make sure that we can do this. But again, we come together as the family of light. And there's one of the things I wanted to talk about. My topic actually was going to be, and I had a dream about this. Is interesting. I had a dream last night, and it was me trying to get into the computer. This morning, it was challenging, and I had a topic I was going to speak on, but when you don't record it immediately, I'm like, I'm going to remember it. I'm going to remember it. I forgot it. Okay, so note to self, there's a couple of things that as we hone our skills, what are some things that we can do? One, if you do have a dream and just get into the habit, I don't write it down. I don't not that disciplined, but I do pick up my iPhone and I record. And it's really good to do that because the more you do it, it's almost like the intention, then guidance comes to you. So there's two things I really wanted to talk about outside of whatever the topic was in my dream. I'm sure it'll come back and I'll remember at some point. But one of the things I had a discussion with Sheila and some other people and Donna uh, on uh, on Saturday, and about dreams that and more dreams are going to come to more people, symbols. Some of them what might be premonitions, um, possible timeline unfoldments, and you know what and I've been saying this for years because it came to me very clearly that what's the sense of having a premonition and say it's a negative premonition, it's a timeline, that's like not good. What's the sense of knowing that ahead of time if you can't do anything about it? That's always been my thing. Well, wrong. Okay, it's that we forgot who we are and the power that we have, that we can shift timelines. And this is exactly what we are now doing as the family of light. We come together here at the Cosmic Center, as well as on our platform. Many of you have participated in what we call the using words of power or the names of God. Okay, this is what Moses did. Jesus has done this. All avatars of light have spoken about the power of sound And even if you do like the experiments, with water and you put salt in it and you put different frequencies in it, it changes into different geometries because we are walking geometries. We are colors. On other celestial realms, they see us not in a physical body. That's why if you're in other realms, they recognize you, okay, by the energy that you emanate. That comes in geometries, it comes in tones, and it comes in harmonics. All right, so just as how with Dr. Emoto, he had his the work that he did with water, and how your thoughts, okay, like your loving thoughts would have a beautiful geometry, but coming from a place of upsetment or rage or anger, it would get distorted and ugly. Okay, so if that, you just figure if that can happen, we are aware that this is the case, right? If loving thoughts can create a beautiful crystal, right, as opposed to a degraded, ugly, degenerated one, what if we used our thoughts, especially if you get a premonition or a sensing or feeling that something's not right, okay, which of course you discern, okay, but what if we were to use our power? And I know it's hard. People say, oh, what can I do? What can, you know what? You could be the tipping point of changing a possible outcome for it to be better. And this is the part, we always come with great, humility. And we know that there is so much we don't know. But at the same time, we also have to embrace the power that we do have that has been given to us by virtue of the fact we hold the divine similitude, we hold the divine within us. And what the Jesus had said, and as you could see, we have a beautiful picture over here of a symbol of what this great, soul that came from the highest of aeons and came into a physical body, okay, said to all of us as brothers, as his brothers and sisters, he said, what I can do, you can do, and more. He just didn't say that because, oh, let me just make them feel good. No, no, that was he said, if I could do it, you could do it too. Now, science knows about ATP, and that's a whole scientific long actual something seen, whatever it is. But what basically it is that we actually hold trinity crystals or pyramids and triads within our own crystal blood, in the cells of the blood. And also we hold these corpuscles of light. This is a biological fact. Okay, so there's a connection here. So the reason why I'm kind of going through this a little bit is because I actually did have a premonition and I didn't understand the premonition. And I just want to fine tune for myself and also share with other people. I actually did have a premonition of what happened in Surfside, Florida. This was a couple of weeks ago. And I just saw myself, I recorded it in front of a building. It was kind of wide and it was about that 12 stories. It was the building of Surfside. And I remember in the dream experience, I'm like, why am I here? But the key thing about the dream is that on the left-hand side, I saw like a garage area, like underneath an apartment building with some cars, but I saw broken concrete. And then I had a second dream, okay, that brought that up again, but it was a little bit different. It was other dynamics with this other dream at another time. But again, it showed, I saw the concrete broken up in a garage setting with cars. The thing was, I couldn't understand what it was. So I didn't do anything. I was like, I don't understand it. But I know better now. When Surfside happened, there was the garage and the broken concrete. I saw it twice. And I said to myself, there's nothing I could do now. And we pray for them. It was, a tragedy and so forth. And, at the very minimum, we can mitigate things. Maybe that didn't have to happen. They could have been intercepted because at the end of the day, we're all moving forward. As Bob Marley says, you can't stop the tide. Now, you could either struggle in the waves or that's basically what our options are. So we can make it really hard or we can make it easier. but it's moving forward with or with you, turbulent or maybe a little bit easier. And the thing that I want to mention to everybody, I will know next time if I see something that I can't figure out, because we're talking about abstract energetics trying to interpret our little brain holding some level of knowledge and pictures and stuff and trying to interpret something that's uninterpretable in the higher realms, so all that can be used is whatever little library stuff we have in our brain, which is why knowledge is all important. The more knowledge you have, the more understanding you have, the more things your higher self, other celestial beings of light can work with the library that's in your brain to try to communicate. And next time, I will know 100% that if I see anything that looks disruptive of any kind, I don't have to understand what it means. I just will go ahead and pray, and that whatever that is symbolic of, I do my little zero with the slash, okay, which is, remember the Ghostbusters, like, no, stop it. That's the symbol I see in my mind's eye that I put onto things that I feel are not uplifting, positive, and so forth, and to shift it, to stop it as best I can. And so I think now that all of us, any little thing, and that's the key, because the information that comes in from the high, it's soft, it's not blasting. Okay, now, if you're not listening, okay, it'll build up and you'll get that universal kick in the ass. Okay, that happens, and many times that people have their awakening as a result. But we don't have to. If we become more sensitive and aware to the fine tunement that comes to us and develop it like a spiritual muscle, it becomes easier to understand and interpret. So whatever our experiences are, we take that as a learning experience and improve it each time. So I tell people, say, gee, I knew that, or I felt that, or, I had a feeling. Trust the feeling. So I was lying down. I mentioned I was really tired today. I had something on the stove. It's something that I'm making. It takes a long time to cook it and so forth. I had to wait till it boiled. And I was lying down because I was really tired. And then all of a sudden, the thought came up to check on the pot. It might be boiling. And I knew, I said, the fact that it came up, it's probably boiling. Now, before I would have said, gee, I'm wondering if it's boiling. Do I really have to get up? Maybe it's not really boiling. I'll just wait another 5 minutes. That was before. Now, the thought comes in, that means it's happening. Just like how now, I know all of us are experiencing, you think of somebody, they call within 3 days, or something happens with that person all of a sudden, or some synchronicity comes up. 3 times I've heard the name Raphael, which is telling me something that I need to look into. 3 times. You don't ignore it. You don't ignore it. It means something. And that's how we get our communication skills fine-tuned, that we're able to be able to interpret and understand the higher parts of ourselves.